You've given everything, your time, your wisdom, your sacrifices. Decades of pouring love into your children, showing up even when the world didn't see you, putting their needs first, their dreams before your own. And yet today, you sit in a quieter room. You send messages that take days to get a reply. You speak, and they barely listen. They visit, but something's missing. That warmth, that spark, that respect. It hurts, doesn't it? Not just the silence, but the invisible weight of wondering where things went wrong. The ache of realizing that the more you try to hold on, the more they seem to pull away. But here's the truth. Respect isn't a gift that stays just because you raised them. It's a connection that evolves, and sometimes, yes, it needs to be earned again. Not through guilt, not through force, but through something far more powerful. You. Because what if I told you that earning back their respect, rekindling their admiration, starts not with them, but with you? With 6 quiet, surprising habits that gently shift the way they see you, feel you, and honor your presence again. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll unlock 6 powerful, unexpected habits that don't just rebuild respect, they deepen the love they thought they'd lost. They remind your children of who you are, not just as a parent, but as a person worth revering. And habit 4? It's the one nobody talks about, yet it's the one that silently transforms how your children see you, how they talk to you, and how they carry your voice in the rooms you're no longer in. Let's begin. 1. Understanding the root. Before change begins, clarity is crucial. It's easy to jump straight to solutions, to grab for quick fixes. But if the ground beneath you is cracked, even the strongest structure will fall. That's why the first step, perhaps the most courageous one, is understanding why your children may no longer treat you with the respect you once had. The truth is, respect can quietly erode over time, not with a dramatic argument or one defining moment, but through a series of subtle shifts. Invisible, but powerful. Sometimes, it's familiarity. They've known you their entire lives. Your sacrifices became their norm. Your love, your presence, your guidance, it was so consistent, they began to see it as oxygen. Essential, but invisible. Other times, it's resentment, unspoken, buried, sometimes even unjustified. Maybe it's the result of mistakes made long ago or misunderstandings that were never untangled. They may still carry the weight of your old rules, your unmet apologies, or even your silent expectations. And then, there's the independence shift, a natural, yet emotional transition. As your children grew, they learned to survive on their own. And in the process, they may have unconsciously tried to pull away from the identity of being your child. Respect sometimes fades when they begin to see themselves as equals, or worse, as superior. Lastly, there's the impact of unmet expectations on both sides. Perhaps you thought they'd be more grateful, more present, more attentive in your later years. And maybe they thought you'd be more adaptable, more approving, or more emotionally available than you were. And when expectation and reality don't align, respect can quietly retreat into silence. But listen carefully, this isn't about blame. Not theirs, and certainly not yours. This is about understanding. And more than that, it's about strategy. Because you still hold the power to influence the way they see you. You still have the ability to reclaim your place in their heart, not through force, but through wisdom, through quiet strength, through small, deliberate actions that echo louder than any lecture. This is about reclaiming your dignity, not through confrontation, but with clarity and compassion. It's about shifting from hurt to healing, from questioning your worth to embodying it. Because when you begin to understand the root, you stop watering the weeds, and you begin planting what truly grows. 2. The 6 surprising habits. Habit 1. Reclaim your boundaries. Firm, not forceful. Respect thrives in clarity. Say less, mean more. One of the most misunderstood paths to gaining back respect, especially from grown children, is learning to stop over-explaining, over-accommodating, and over-giving, all in the name of staying close. But closeness without boundaries? That's not love. That's erosion. You see, when you've spent years being available, financially, emotionally, logistically, it's easy for others, even your own children, to forget where you end and where they begin. Reclaiming your boundaries doesn't mean withdrawing. It means defining. Gently, calmly, but clearly. It's when you no longer allow sarcasm to pass as conversation. It's when you decline invitations that drain you. It's when you stop jumping to fix every crisis they bring to your door, especially the ones they created. Let's say your adult child calls only when they need something, money, a babysitter, help with errands, but rarely asks how you're doing, never offers support, and frequently cancels plans with no apology. Instead of reacting with anger or silently absorbing the disrespect, you can say, "I'm always here for you, but not at the cost of my own peace. I want our time together to feel mutual, not one-sided. Let's talk when we both have the capacity to be present." That's not cold. That's clear. And clarity is magnetic. It draws the right kind of connection and gently repels what drains you. Remember this. Firm is not the same as forceful. You're not demanding respect. You're modeling it. And when your children see you respecting your own time, your own emotional space, your own truth, they begin to recalibrate how they engage with you. You stop being a fallback. You become a force. And here's the beauty of it. Boundaries don't break bonds, they refine them. They set the tone for a relationship built not on guilt, but on mutual honor. And when that tone is set, it becomes the foundation upon which the next 5 habits quietly work their magic. Habit 2. Lead with curiosity, not criticism. They expect judgment. Surprise them with curiosity. Underscore. Let's be honest, there's a reason your children might brace themselves when you call. Maybe it's your tone. Maybe it's the look on your face. Maybe it's just history. But the moment they anticipate criticism, they close off. And what could have been connection becomes defensiveness. But what happens when, instead of judgment, you offer curiosity? Instead of saying, "Why would you do that?" you ask, "Tell me more about why that mattered to you." There's a subtle power in genuine interest. A healing energy that says, "I want to understand you, not correct you." Even if their lifestyle choices seem foreign to you. Even if you don't agree. Even if you'd never lived that way yourself. When you lead with curiosity, you do something rare. You give them the gift of feeling safe in your presence again. It might be asking, "What inspires you about your work?" rather than, "When are you getting a better job?" Underscore. It could be, "How are you really doing with everything on your plate?" Instead of, "You look tired. You need to take better care of yourself." It could even mean listening, really listening, when they talk about things you don't understand. Digital currencies, new parenting styles, political beliefs, or social movements. You don't have to agree, but you do have to listen. Because when you do, you're saying, "Your voice matters to me. You matter to me." That kind of listening, that kind of presence, it earns respect faster than 1,000 lectures. And here's the twist. When you show you're open to their world, they begin to reopen to yours. The roles reverse. Suddenly, they start asking how you're doing, what you think, what you need. Respect is not always won in confrontation. Sometimes, it's quietly restored in conversation. And speaking of quiet power, Habit 3 will challenge everything you've assumed about your role, and it just might be the most freeing one yet. Habit 3. Reinvent your own life first. Do you want their respect? Show them you respect yourself. Let's pause here, because this might be the most confronting habit of all. And the most liberating. When was the last time you did something new? For you, not for your children, not for your partner, not because it was expected, but because it stirred something inside you? Something that reminded you, you're not just someone's parent. You're still a person becoming. Too often, the older we get, the more we shrink into support roles. We become background characters in our own story, while watching everyone else's narrative unfold. But here's the truth no one tells you. Children respect the parent who keeps growing. The parent who takes a painting class at 65 just because they've always wanted to. The father who starts biking again after decades. The grandmother who finally takes that solo trip to Italy. Or the man who starts volunteering at a shelter and rediscovers a piece of his heart he forgot was missing. When your children see you choosing vitality instead of settling, expansion instead of bitterness, they're not just impressed. They're inspired. And this matters deeply. Because one of the silent sources of disrespect is pity. When your child starts seeing you as someone who's given up on their own life, they may love you, but they stop looking up to you. And without even realizing it, they stop listening to you. They stop asking about you. They stop seeing you as a mirror and start seeing you as a warning. But you can flip that script. You can become a living lesson in resilience, evolution, and self-worth. Start small. Join a local hiking group. Learn the language you always dreamed of speaking. Pick up an instrument. Walk daily. Write. Dance. Serve. Show them, and more importantly, remind yourself that life didn't end the day they grew up. In fact, a part of your life is just beginning. And here's the miracle. When you step fully into your own becoming, they start coming to you. Not out of guilt, not out of obligation, but out of curiosity, out of admiration, out of a desire to reconnect with the part of you that is thriving. Because nothing is more magnetic than someone who is alive. And while that may be the habit that ignites their admiration, the next one, habit 4, it quietly rewires their entire perception of you, and it's the one almost no one talks about. Habit 4, apologize like a leader, not a victim. They don't need a perfect parent, they need a humble one. Now, this one, it may sting a little, but it's a game changer. And if you can take it to heart, it might just be the turning point in your relationship with your children. We've all made mistakes, and we've all had moments when our actions, intentional or not, hurt the people we love most. But here's the thing, your children don't need to see you as infallible. They don't need you to always be right. What do they need? They need to see that you can own your mistakes, not in a way that's self-deprecating or filled with shame, but in a way that shows true leadership. Apologizing like a leader means standing in the fullness of your truth. It's not about saying, "I'm sorry if I hurt you," or "I'm sorry you feel that way." That's avoidance. That's self-protection. It's about saying, "I see how my actions hurt you, and for that, I am truly sorry. I could have done better. Here's what I will do differently moving forward." Leaders own their mistakes without minimizing them. They don't seek validation for their apology or turn it into a pity party. They apologize because they value the relationship and want to rebuild the trust that was broken. When you apologize like this, you demonstrate accountability. You show your children that imperfection isn't a weakness. It's an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to connect in a deeper way. This is powerful. It doesn't weaken your authority, it strengthens it. It doesn't diminish your role, it enhances it. You see, when you take responsibility for your actions with grace and clarity, it resets the dynamics. Suddenly, your children see you not as someone who's always been in control, but as someone who is still evolving, still learning, still invested in becoming a better version of themselves. And when you show them that, they can't help but respect you more. This is the magic of humility. It creates space for healing, for forgiveness, for new beginnings. And now, I'm going to leave you with this thought before we move on to habit 5. What if I told you that this next habit isn't just about building respect, but about transforming the entire emotional atmosphere in your home? The energy shifts in ways you've never expected. And it's a secret so simple, most people overlook it. Habit 5. Speak less, act more. Words can fail. Consistency never does. In a world filled with noise, where everyone's talking, complaining, explaining, and justifying, there's something profoundly powerful about silence. Not silence out of avoidance, but silence that's born of action. You see, words can be convincing, but they can also be empty. Promises made in a moment of frustration or regret lose their weight over time. I'll do better, I'll change, I'll try harder. But how often do we follow through? Your children don't need more words. They need to see your commitment in motion. They need to see you take action, not just speak about it. Let's be clear, this isn't about doing grand gestures or making flashy promises. It's about the quiet, small acts that you consistently show. It's about demonstrating values, not just professing them. For example, if you say you're going to improve your health, don't just talk about it at the dinner table. Get up early to exercise. Make healthier choices. Keep a consistent schedule. Your children will notice when you prioritize your health, not because you told them to, but because they saw it in your routine. If you say you want to spend more quality time with them, stop planning it for the distant future. Take a moment every week to be present. It could be as simple as a phone call, a shared cup of coffee, or an afternoon out together. Don't just promise it. Be it. Consistency speaks louder than any speech or lecture you can give. Every day, in small ways, your actions carve out the message you want your children to receive. You're showing them the kind of person you've become and the kind of person they can count on. The values you uphold are evident in your habits, not your words. What's more, small actions have an exponential impact. They compound over time. One kind gesture, one responsible decision, one moment of listening quietly, it builds. And before long, it doesn't just change your relationship with your children, it rewires their perception of you as a person. You become a role model, not because you told them to be a better person, but because they saw you embody it day after day. And this consistency? It's a trust builder. They'll start respecting you not because of the things you say, but because of the way you live your life. And the trust you build today will become the foundation of the respect you've been seeking. And now, as we move into habit 6, imagine this. What if the one thing that could bring everything together is as simple as making a choice to live fully in the present? I'll reveal the final secret in just a moment, but first, let's pause and reflect. Habit 6. Protect your peace, even if they don't understand. Sometimes, respect returns when you walk away from the need for it. This one? It's the most difficult, and yet it holds the greatest power. Because it's not about changing them, it's about changing you. There's an old truth that many of us overlook. The more we chase something, the more it slips away. The more we demand respect, the more elusive it becomes. The more we try to control, the more we lose control. But when you choose to protect your peace and let go of the desperate need for validation, something shifts. I know, this is hard. It goes against everything that says, I deserve respect. And yes, you do. But it's not in the demand that you get it. It's in how you live with the absence of it, and how you choose to respond to disrespect. This habit isn't about running away or avoiding conflict. It's about understanding that sometimes the best way to regain respect is to stop chasing it so intensely. When you refuse to be sucked into drama, guilt, or confrontation, you start to take back your peace. And that is when they'll see you differently. By stepping back, you're not shutting down your relationship with your children. In fact, you're doing the opposite. You're showing them that you're secure enough in who you are to let go of the need to constantly be right. You're teaching them that your peace is non-negotiable, that you will not sacrifice your own well-being to engage in battles that don't serve anyone. Now, this doesn't mean you completely withdraw or cut them out. It's about stepping back with grace. It's about choosing to walk away from the toxic patterns of conflict and instead taking a moment for yourself, whether it's stepping outside, taking a long walk, or simply finding a moment of quiet. And when you do this consistently, they'll start to see a new you. One that is grounded, unshakable, and calm. The irony is this: the more you protect your peace, the more likely they are to respect it. They'll begin to recognize that you're not a pawn in their emotional game. You're a person who values their own peace and integrity, and that's something powerful. Yes, they may not understand at first. They might even feel hurt or confused. But when you stop demanding respect, it will eventually return to you, because respect isn't something you can force. It's something you earn by showing that you respect yourself first. So, take this final habit to heart. Walk away from the need for validation. Protect your peace, no matter the storm. And in time, you'll find that the respect you thought was lost will return to you in ways that feel more genuine, more lasting, and more fulfilling. You're not too late. You're just getting started. This stage of life isn't the twilight, it's the masterpiece. What if I told you that the best chapters of your life are ahead of you? That the respect you seek doesn't come from a single moment, but from the consistent, quiet strength you cultivate in the days ahead. So many times, we think that once we've reached a certain age, things are set in stone. Our relationships, our habits, our futures, they're already written. But that's just a story we've been told. The truth is, this stage of life is filled with possibility. You are not too old to grow, to change, and to redefine what respect and love mean to you. Let them see your strength, not your silence. Let them witness your growth, not your grief. In the years ahead, don't just wait for them to come to you. Show them who you are now. Show them the person you've become after all the struggles, all the lessons, all the triumphs. Show them that the best part of you is still being written. You don't need to carry the weight of old grudges or unmet expectations. Respect begins where fear ends, and love meets self-respect. When you stand firm in your own peace, when you cultivate habits of self-respect, and when you walk through life with your head high, your children will begin to see the person you've always been beneath the layers of frustration and hurt. So, take this moment. Understand that your journey is not defined by your past mistakes, but by the strength of your decisions today. Let this be the start of a new chapter, where respect is earned and love is multiplied, not by words, but by the actions you choose to take. If you felt unseen, unheard, or disrespected, you're not alone. But today, you have the blueprint. Start with one habit. Watch what happens. The power to transform your relationship with your children, and most importantly, with yourself, is right here in your hands. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. And this journey you're on, it's just beginning. If this video spoke to you, if you felt a shift within, like the possibility of healing and growth is within reach, like this video, share it with someone who might be silently going through the same storm. You never know how much your sharing can light someone else's way. Don't forget to subscribe, because every week, I talk about powerful ways to take your health, peace, and purpose seriously. Together, we'll keep building, growing, and reclaiming our well-being in the most meaningful ways. What's one thing you wish you had done differently with your children? What habit do you think could have made the difference in your relationship with them? Share your journey below in the comments section. Let's start a conversation and help others avoid the mistakes we've made. Your experience could be the key to someone else's breakthrough. Stay safe, stay strong, and let's learn together.